My name is Grier from Villiera Wines, and I also have a wine on the Cape Winemakers Guild auction this year, the 2020 auction, which is taking place online on the Bonham's website on the 3rd of October. And I've got a Villiera drip barrel Cabernet Franc. So we've been selling drip barrel Cabernet Franc for the last 3 years, and this is the fourth drip barrel Cabernet Franc that's been selected for the Cape Winemakers Guild auction. Cabernet Franc is a variety that has traditionally been used in blends, you know, the Bordeaux type blend, and it's used for vitality and freshness and longevity. But more and more, there's a trend towards standalone Cabernet Francs, and we have control of a vineyard in the Devon Valley area, which is the heart of Stellenbosch, in the granitic soils there. And it produces great quality fruit, and it's a very important red variety for us at Villiera. However, a few years ago, my nephew who works here at Villiera with me, Grier, he was in California, and he discovered that the winemakers there weren't pressing their grapes the moment they had drawn the juice off, or the fermented wine off. And the reason was that they were waiting for that drip, or the oozing of wine from those skins that were left in the tank prior to pressing. And they referred to it as the drip barrel. So when he gave me that information in 2014, in 2015 we tried to produce a wine using that concept. So the drip barrel basically involves that portion of juice between drawing off the fermented wine from the skins and taking the skins to press. So in other words, it's the heart of a red wine. It's the portion that under the gravitational pressure of the skins just oozes out of that massive skins. It comes out brilliant clear, loaded with fruit, very intense, and a beautiful tannin balance, which actually makes it a technique to make the perfect red wine. It's a technique that doesn't allow you to make a lot of wine. You can imagine that most of the wine is actually the draw-off portion, and then the pressed portion is normally blended back, but it's a smaller portion. But the drip barrel is just a couple of barrels on a 20-ton tank load. And it's not really a portion that can be commercially available. So it's the ideal portion to use for an auction where a small quantity of really good wine is required. And our drip barrel has been made since 2015. 2018, this is the 2018 version, was a vintage that was at the tail end of a drought that we experienced in the Western Cape, and it basically meant that our vineyards were still yielding very low. So we had a small crop here, and the intensity of flavor comes through. This drip barrel is basically immediately put into a barrel. Well, in this case, we made a couple of barrels, and it's put into barrels so that the malolactic can occur in barrels, and then we leave it there for about 18 months. In this case, it was 18 months. And what I do is I use one new barrel and one second fill, and then I use a proportion of the second fill to make up the blend with 100% of the new barrel. All tight grain French oak, and obviously we want the option of being able to include some second fill wood, because 100% new oak can result in too much oak. Well, this is as delicious as our drip barrel Cabernet Franc usually is. It's young for a Cabernet Franc, but it has that purity of fruit. In fact, it's almost floral in character, a little bit of violet, and then it has that slight graphite-like character. There are some classic pencil shavings. There's a bit of oak spice. There's some dark berry fruit as well. It has a beautiful deep red color, and the texture is just mind-blowing, because when you use the drip barrel, you get more tannin than you would just on the runoff portion, but you don't get the hard tannins that you get when you press. And that's the beauty of the drip barrel. You actually get the best texture that you get from a tank of red grapes. So that's our fourth drip barrel Cabernet Franc on the Cape Winemakers Guild auction, and it's been doing better and better on the auction over the years. People that buy it again, because it gives them great pleasure, but it also matures well. And I would like to drink a toast to this year's auction. Cheers to the Cape Winemakers Guild 2020 auction. And it's taking place under weird conditions. The volumes are smaller this year because it's all online. And we hope that people that want these wines can get hold of them. Cheers.